It's January 21st. Are you guys still alive? If you are, I'm impressed. I'm proud of you. I know it's not easy living another day in this shithole. Well, we have a lot to cover today. It has been quite a 24 hours. Really, it answers the question, what would happen if in Harry Potter, instead of Voldemort coming back to rule as a wizard, he came back to be the United States president? And all of Slytherin was his cabinet. And we're going to find out exactly what would happen if that were the case. In fact, I think we have a lot of good intel already. Should we get started? Actually, before we do get started, I just want to say, Steve Bannon comes out and talks about shock and awe, right? We know that they are trying to scare the shit out of everyone. We know that they're trying to scare people into submission. And in fact, the less work that they have to do in order to accomplish their goals, the more afraid people are to lose their lives, to lose their families, to lose their homes, et cetera, the easier this is for them, right? And this, unfortunately, also answers the question that a lot of people at one point have asked themselves, which is, if you had been alive in 1930, what would you be doing right now? Let me put it this way. I think a lot of people might be realizing very quickly that what sounds good on paper when it comes to bravery and courage and what you think you might have done is actually much harder in reality, because what you are risking is everything, right? You're risking your life. And I don't think that's hyperbole. I think that's truly is literally the case. I do personally think that people are going to lose their lives in this process. And I think that people are going to lose their freedoms. But anyways, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so in the last 24 hours, I don't know, should I just read this down like a list, or should we pause and talk about this? So Trump withdrew the United States from the World Health Organization. That is very concerning. It is going to heavily limit our access to vaccines. Obviously these people, they don't like vaccines. What is crazy about that is that Georgia, man, I apologize if I sometimes I may get locations wrong if I haven't written this down, because there's so much to cover now. I think it might be Georgia that is declared a state of emergency. I think they called literally their entire poultry population. And they are trying to mass order vaccines for bird flu. Okay. Like I said, I'm pretty sure, I remember for sure it's a southern state. Wherever this is happening in the South. That's already bad. It's bad for a million reasons, right? But we know that in the South, they are particularly afraid of vaccines. So any type of attempt at regulating, sorry, I have a cat on my lap again. Any attempt at regulating that situation, I'm not really sure how that's going to go. In any case, in a moment where we are on the verge of another pandemic with the bird flu, which could potentially be deadlier, actually, than COVID, this is probably not the time for us to be going through this, but here we are. So that's item number one. We also, very sadly, and this is the cause that's probably dearest to my heart, other than human rights in general, we withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement. So, just on a positive note, and I don't know, a lot of people are going to say this is not very positive, Natalie. I personally think that what is going to save us is climate change. I predict that the next couple of years will be so full of unprecedented climate disasters that it will crumble a lot of political structures, and that people will begin to demand action differently. Even people who perhaps, previously said, oh, I don't think that's really a big deal, or I don't think that's real. I think people are going to start to say, my house just is gone in a flood and we need help. So I think that as much as him withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement is a disaster, it's disastrous. I don't know. Again, I think we need to try to approach each day with just total blank slate curiosity. One thing we know for sure, we've never been here before. Sorry, my cat is having a sneezing fit, and it's very cute, and I can't even look because I'm looking at you. You're cute. So we can't assume that we know what's going to happen. There will be good things that do happen during this period of time. I can promise you that. I don't know what they will be. There will be things that we did not see coming that are going to happen too, both good and bad. Okay, so no more Paris Climate Agreement. He is attempting to rescind birthright citizenship. So what that means is that somebody whose parent was an immigrant, who was born here, now is not necessarily entitled to U.S. citizenship. This, though, is against what is written in the Constitution. On that note, I should mention, they removed the United States Constitution from the White House website today. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Or if you're lazy, you just go to TikTok, because there's about 1 million videos that are literally walking through the process of going to the White House website. Where the Constitution used to be, it's gone. I actually went on Amazon and ordered a copy of the United States Constitution today, just in case, for old time's sake, a relic, maybe I can sell it for, a rat tail to chew on in a few months. Okay, yada, yada. Oh, this is a good one. Men who pay child support will be able to write off their children on their taxes every single year. Right now, as it stands, parents have to, by law, each parent gets a year to write their children on their taxes. I'm not 100% sure about this because I don't get any child support. I know my ex and I take turns. What I don't know is if a woman has full custody of the kids, does she write them on her taxes every year? I think so, because I think it's wherever the child resides more than 50% of the time. That's why if it's 50-50, you alternate years. What this law is saying is that even if a man only pays you $50 a year, or hopefully more than that, $50 a month, he can then claim the kids on his taxes every single year. They hate women. We knew that. We already knew that. Also, they're trying to intimidate women into not getting a divorce. And I think it's going to have the opposite effect. I think women are going to stop getting married. I'm at this point, for sure, no more kids for me. And I'm like 99% sure marriage is off the table as well. You can't trust them. You can't trust these motherfuckers in these streets. Let me tell you that. Okay, so, the tariffs. So officially, I believe this all begins on February 1st. So something for everyone to look forward to. Hey, my birthday is February 19th. Happy birthday to me. Tariffs, 25% tariff on all Mexican and Canadian goods, 35% on China. They get a 10% raise. So we know what that means. That means that things are going to, the cost of goods through the fucking roof. I think Americans are going to be shocked to find out how much of the food they're eating, how much of the shit that they buy is not from America. And we can't just overnight build fucking the infrastructure, the factories, the farms to replace these things. So what's going to happen is people are going to find out real fast. Do you want to spend $25 on an ear of corn? Or, maybe you're just going to have to gnaw on a wooden table because hopefully you already bought a wooden table. Otherwise, it's going to be $10,000. Sorry. So, let's see. What's next? Oh, yeah. There was a Spanish, an informational tab on the White House website that was written in Spanish for immigrants. That's gone. Okay. Oh, I guess this is an interesting note to end on, and this is real complicated. So we know that just before he left office, Biden was helping to negotiate, or was able to negotiate, a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. People said, hey, Trump, do you think that we're still going to have this ceasefire between Israel and Palestine? He said a couple interesting things. He said, I don't know, I don't really think so. He said that he has no intentions of getting involved or enforcing anything. He said that, and this is not the first time he said this, and it surprises me that people didn't listen and chose to vote for him anyways, but he talked about how the land in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip, is extremely high value land because it's right on the ocean. And how when they rebuild Palestine, there's lots of things that they'd like to do with that land that have nothing to do with Palestinians. In fact, there are rumors, discussions apparently, that they're talking about relocating everyone in Palestine to Indonesia. I'm just going to pause there while you try to fucking swallow that one. Yeah. Trump's UN ambassador, I neglected to write down her name. And again, I don't give a fuck. These people they could all just literally be demons as far as I'm concerned. Demon number 1, demon number 2. It's fine. They're all the same. What she said was, she said that Israel has a biblical right to the West Bank. Yeah. So we are off to the races here when it comes to the apocalypse. And what's interesting about that is, while I am joking, I am actually also not, because we have to remember that Trump's cabinet members, their goal is the apocalypse. The people that believe what they're saying, I think I would predict that maybe half of them actually are Christian in that particular way. They're Christian nationalists. And I would say the other half may call themselves Christian nationalists, but I think that they're really just like sociopaths, I don't think they actually believe in God. It is interesting to note, however, that Trump did not put his hand on the Bible when he was being sworn in. In my experience, narcissists are actually they're a little bit, what's the word? Sorry, my poor fucking brain. I can't believe I can still talk. They are superstitious. They're superstitious. I think that that's the nagging feeling inside of them that something is really fucking wrong with them. There is a feeling inside of them. There's some part of their brain knows that, because what a narcissist really is, that they have a whole segment of self that is basically sequestered off, shoved into a closet with the door slammed shut. And what that narcissist rage, that they unleash on people, what that is like anytime someone gets too close to that fucking closet. In any case, here, I have something special planned for you for the end of today's show. But first, if it's around here. Yep, it's still around here. I'm going to plug my book one more time. Listen, if you like fiction, if you like young adult fiction, my book, The Element, Natalie Brome, it's on Amazon. It's on the Barnes & Noble's website. It's also available on Audible, read by not me, but a woman with a much nicer voice. It's very soothing. And again, I've said this before, I would like to finish book 2. But I may be like digging in the trenches or whatever. I may be, or maybe I'll be running through the woods trying to get to Canada. It's not even that far. I think I can make it. Okay. So I am going, I bought this book because I'm not a prepper, but I've always been fascinated by it ever since I was like literally a child. My favorite books as a child were, I think it was called like Axe, Julie of the Wolves. They're literally all about children that were left out in the wild to starve and die that somehow survived. So I think some part of my subconscious mind knew that that's how my life would end one day. So this book, I actually bought it off of TikTok. I think I bought it like a year and a half or 2 years ago, but it's called The Lost Ways. And it's just about how people survived during the Depression. And I'm going to teach you how to make 1875 cottage cheese. I hope it doesn't taste like we made it in 1875. Okay, so you allow the milk to form clabber. And I'm pretty sure that means the milk starts to get chunks. Hey, I hope you already ate dinner. Skim off the cream once clabbered. Set the clabbered milk on very low heat. Okay, so you take the chunks, put your milk chunks into a pan. Oh no. And cut in 1-inch squares. Okay, that suggests that the milk has become so chunky that you can cut it with a knife into a 1-inch square. Place a colander into the clabber, skim off the whey that rises into the colander. See, I feel like the format for this would be better as a video, but you know what? If the fucking electricity is off, we're just going to have to read, and we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to, I hope you can read. If you can't, now is the time to start. When the clabber becomes firm, rinse with cold water, squeeze liquid out, and press into a ball. Crumble into a bowl. Mix curds with thick cream. So basically, you are going to eat some chunky milk. I didn't know that all cottage cheese was this whole time was chunky milk. But now you know, and you learn something new every day. And we probably are going to have to learn things that we wish we never knew. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.